When I moved to Australia, I had a social media version of what I thought it would be like. Sunny beaches, kangaroos, an outdoor lifestyle, and a holiday that lasts forever. I want you to watch this video so that you don't fall into the social media version of Australia. Here's how my perspective has changed after living here for a year. You might be expecting that once you first arrive in Australia, it's going to feel like a holiday. And that's true, it does for about 6 months. 12 months in and the routine is set in. It no longer feels like a week all-inclusive holiday in Spain. You'll wake up one morning and it's another work day. Or you might even get up for the gym. You'll then get to watch the sunrise and you'll be able to sprinkle a little bit of caffeine on top of that, all before you've started work. And this makes a huge difference. This is one of the biggest lifestyle changes that I've noticed. No longer are you waking up to dark, dull weather and those winter mornings where you feel like the sun actually doesn't ever come up. It doesn't feel like a holiday anymore. But when Friday rolls around, you switch straight back into holiday mode. I often pinch myself wondering, when is this all going to end? But this working holiday can raise a few bigger questions when you get around 12 months in. What if this is forever? Should we move back home? What are we actually doing with our life? What about kids? What about getting married? These questions started popping up for us around 9 to 12 months, which is where we're at right now. And honestly, I don't have a real answer. The beauty of moving to a different country is it opens up the opportunity for freedom. Freedom for location, freedom for time, and freedom for choices. And it's important that you keep that in mind when you get to that 9-month mark. If you wanted to go back home, you could. If you wanted to stay, you probably could. And those questions, for me at least, don't really need answering right now. I think as long as you set yourself up financially, then you're buying your time so that when you are ready to settle down, wherever that may be, you can. These questions will come thick and fast, along with a deep hurting if you are lucky enough to have family come and visit. But why? When family visit for the first time, you will instantly feel when they leave very sad. You will also probably jump to the conclusion that you need to move back home. You'll think, I can't live without family, I need to go back, and you'll go into a panic mode. If you're ever in that situation, just chill out, give yourself 3 days, you'll wake up and wonder what you were thinking. Because, will it sting less in a few years' time? I'm not sure, but I'll figure it out. When I say the word routine, the Brits will think waking up in the middle of winter to the dark, cold, gloomy morning, drive to work in the rain and cold, get to work and it's still dark, work 8 hours and it still feels like it's dark, and then arrive home in the dark. Summer's usually a little bit brighter, but that lasts about a week. Routine on the Gold Coast is more like wake up at 5, grab a coffee, go for a surf and watch the sky warm up. Enjoy a sunny day at work and finish work to say a final farewell to the ocean. Weekend rolls around and it's fishing with mates, beers at the pav, or walking with the roos. These are all the parts that you do see on social media. And one thing that I've seen on social media is that a lot of people say it's really hard to make friends on the Gold Coast or in Australia. But I have some thoughts on that. We have friends, which was an unexpected, pleasant surprise. You'll make friends at work, maybe you'll be sat out the back on your surfboard, you'll get chatting to some bloke. The point of what I'm saying is getting involved in as many activities as you can when you do move, if you already live here. Get involved with outdoor activities, go to your local cafe on your own, grab a coffee and see what the day brings. If you are super introverted, give it a go. It might work out. And if you're extroverted, then you're probably going to make friends pretty easily. Time is limited at the best of times, especially when you're trying to work a full-time job, you're trying to do a side hustle, and you're also trying to entertain family and friends. You might experience a bit of a lack of motivation to build something or go and pursue that thing that you've been thinking about for a while, but don't worry, that's totally normal. And 12 months in, it comes back. Albeit slowly, I can confirm that once you've lived in a different place or a different country for 12 months, the mental space comes back. And somehow there's still time to work, socialise, build the thing that you want and surf in the morning. But this lifestyle comes at a cost. When you scroll through TikTok, you might come across the bloke who tells you how cheap it is to live in Australia. And I don't think that's entirely true. In my situation, my salary almost doubled. And the cost of living is about the same as the UK. So yeah, it did feel like a cheap place to live for a while. But money works like a thermostat. Stay with me. When you first earn more, everything feels cheaper and it feels amazing. But your lifestyle quietly turns the dial up. Better rent, better food, better weekend trips. Most importantly, more comfort. And before you know it, you're warm again, not richer. It is simple to keep the life cheap because you can spend so much time outdoors without freezing to death, at least here in Queensland. But the weather isn't always as good as you think. Sun isn't guaranteed. It's most of the time, and when it's not shining, it's usually pretty warm. The 2 weeks of winter on the Gold Coast, you might need a hoodie in the evenings, but you need to be careful of storms, flash floods, and UV rays that will guarantee you carcinoma if you're not careful. There is some solutions: fishing shirts, rashies, wearing sunblock, cabanas. I love the weather here, but it's chaotic, it's humid, and it can be dangerous if you're not careful. I'm speaking to the Brits here. You've never experienced UV like it in Europe. If you've made it this far, cheers for spending some time with me. To the Brits watching this, I'm not saying your life is worse. The environment just makes it harder, at least for me and heaps of other people that I've spoke to that are still living in the dark, cold weather. The UK just seems to be surrounded by angry drivers, gloomy mornings, and lack of casual chat, which can make you feel a little bit like you don't belong. Aussies, thank you for letting me thrive in this beautiful country. I've had nothing but positivity from Queenslanders and all the other people that have moved from other parts of Australia to the Gold Coast, and I hope that I can continue helping you guys in my career as a physio. Something to think about before you go. Think back to the last time you really felt like yourself. That your energy was high, the vibes were on, and you were thriving emotionally and physically. That is where you turn mundane into living. Be like sunny beaches, kangaroos, outdoor lifestyle. Head to the beach for a surf, a swim. Cut to Act 7. Act 6 was recorded at the start.